Thank you very much, Matt. Well, at the moment, you can hear the bikes still go around the track here at Snetterton. It's the practice for the National and Senior Endurance. That's a 6-hour race which is on tomorrow. Later on today, well, not too much later, 4 o'clock is the 2-hour Junior Endurance race, and one of the teams that will be competing in that is Team MIB, and I'm pleased to say that Martin Tyte, the team manager, has taken time out just to join us. First of all, Martin, I must just ask you about qualifying for the race. I mean, 19th, is that good, bad, indifferent?
We've definitely done better in the past. One of my riders today had a slight incident on the first bend, Richie's, so we in effect only had one person qualifying. We've been a bit busy repairing the bike and massaging egos, but we're good to go for the main race.
Now, I gather that was Tom Rutherford, and unfortunately he sort of lives quite local to Snetterton, so his ego will be bruised.
That's right. I think it was quite an interesting fact that part of providing the team here today, we have a member of the team marshalling on the track as well, and our team member Dave was actually on the marshal post at the corner that Tom went down, so I think they will be debating that somewhat later in the bar.
Right, and just give us an idea of what sort of speed he would have been doing at the time.
Well, Richie's corner is quite a fast corner after the main long straight here at Snetterton, so it would have probably been around about 110 miles an hour, so quite fast.
Pretty good, but is he okay?
He's absolutely fine. The bike has got superficial damage. We've had to replace a few parts. What's really great about this type of racing is there's a real spirit, and we've had many people come up and helping us in the pits. Makes my job a lot easier. I can just stand back and watch, and we've had lots of help. A few new parts on the bike, and we'll be good to go.
So even help from outside the team?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was a team next to us, and they just sprung into action, which is the real kind of basis of this type of racing, is making it easy for people to enjoy, to come into, and people are prepared to get their, roll their sleeves up and just help out.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, you got Tom. We mentioned he's one of the riders. Dale Padley as well, but they're just two of a team. Just give us an idea of the extent of your team.
Absolutely. So the aim of this racing is really to introduce people into some form of competition in motorsport. So we have several team members, the two riders who are obviously very important. I'm undertaking the role of team manager. We have one person that will help with the marshalling here at each circuit as we go around the country racing, and then really you need someone on the pit wall as well, which is a really important part of the process, because it's all about timed pit stops and minimising the number of stops that you want to undertake in a fixed period. In this case, it's a 2-hour race, so we really want to only change the riders a maximum of 2 times each, so 4 sessions. So we need to keep very keen eye on the times and make sure we bring them in at the right time.
That's crucial, must be.
Absolutely, yeah. What the worst situation is where you've mistimed your pit stops and you need to do one unnecessary pit stop at the end of the overall race, which can be the difference from winning and coming somewhere in the middle of the grid.
We heard from Dave Mabbott earlier, and he was explaining that, of course, these endurance races have the Le Mans start.
Yeah.
How nervy is that as a team manager?
Well, it makes me laugh to start with, which is always good to see. But it's a safety aspect as well, because rather than having a big grid of bikes and maybe people stalling on the line, it means it's a safety start where you've got people lined up on the side. And it's good for the adrenaline. People are quite keen to get from the other side of the track onto the bike and away. So it's a good spectacle.
The whole idea of this is to let people who've had track days, if you like, then get involved in racing. So how much sponsorship, for example, does a team like yours need?
Well, some people do it through their own funds. It's a sport that really you can, if you manage it carefully, don't have many accidents and don't need to replace too many parts along the way. You can do it quite cheaply. It's good to have sponsorship in there. Lots of companies, we've been successful in bringing some sponsorship into the team to help pay for some of the running costs, such as tyres, which are obviously a big factor, and getting to the events and fuel and those types of items.
How much do you think it costs you for the championship, do you think?
Well, I think to campaign the whole championship, assuming there was no major repairs of the bikes, I think you'd probably be looking at a few £1,000s you could do it for, if you were careful and managed it the right way.
So it's not too bad, not out of reach.
No, it's it's aimed at getting the people who are doing track days into sort of the next the next level, and it tries to keep the costs low. So tyres are limited. You don't have to spend massive amount of money on tyres. The bikes are scrutinized and obviously have to be to a certain specification, again, to stop people spending lots of money on engine builds. Obviously you can do that, but it's all about trying to make it level and even and get people introduced into it.
So you qualified 19th. What are your prospects for the race?
So 19th isn't our best qualifying, but as I said, we only had really one qualifying session. So we also had a drying track. So unfortunately, Tom's incident was in the second session where it was drying, so we would have posted a quicker time. I'm quite confident that we can, come up and hopefully finish in the single-digit positions. Certainly, I'd be very happy with around the 6th or 5th place.
It's funny just looking down at some of these team names. I mean, yours sounds quite a standard one, Team MIB, but I have to laugh when you look right at the bottom, position 34th, bless them, Team Tortoise.
Yeah, I think they obviously knew when they chose their name that, I think these guys are new in and they're finding their feet, but, again, it's hats off to them really. They're here and they're making up the grid and they'll have fun.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much for taking time out, Martin, to join us. Sorry about the spill. Let's hope everything goes well for the race. But do you expect, for example, Team Trackcraft, who came in at the top there, to be up there at the end?
I would have 50 pence on them taking the honours today, definitely.
You're not a betting man. Fantastic. That's Martin Tyte, who's the team manager of Team MIB. They qualified 19th fastest, Matt, as you heard, but poor old Tom there had a spill, so they'll be looking to certainly get further up that positional grid at the end of the race.